Welcome back to the Stream Dream, and this is our first streamer spotlight. This is something I want to do with the channel as well, another layer to everything that we're doing. We want to highlight different streamers in the community, up and coming streamers that have been doing it for a very long time, because you can learn something from everyone, I believe. Hopefully watching these interviews will give you a little bit of insight on these streamers and where they came from as far as their background and some of the struggles they've had with streaming and how they overcame them. So without further ado, we have our first interview. This is a good friend of mine. He is an awesome entertainer, an awesome content creator, and also just an awesome person overall. Welcome MashStars to our streamer spotlight. Hopefully you enjoy the interview. There's links in the description if you want to find out more information about him. But without further ado, let's get right into it. Hey Mash, how are you doing? How are you doing? I haven't seen you in a while. I feel like I haven't talked to you in a long time.
It has been a little while. We played some Secret Neighbor the other week though, and that was really fun. Glad I could get in with that. I'm doing pretty good today though. How are you doing?
Doing pretty well. That was a lot of fun. Hopefully that game comes out and actually is pretty good.
Yeah, you enjoyed being the pumpkin popping out at us.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit OP, but hopefully they'll tune it down a little bit. So I see you've been playing some Red Dead Redemption lately. How have you been enjoying that?
Oh, I'm loving it. The game itself is it's so much fun. It's got some problems with it as far as pacing, but like it's one of the most beautiful games that I've played in years now. I love nature, so for me it's just like the perfect game for me right now, just to kind of be stress-free and enjoy just like the background of the game while I'm just going around being a cowboy shooting people, which probably shouldn't be stressful, but or stress-free, but it is for some reason. So I've just been loving it. I've just been playing it nonstop. It's a really nice time actually in gaming, where it's been kind of a lull of games, and now we got Call of Duty, we got Red Dead, we got all these different things coming up. Fallout 76.
Yep. Tuesday.
Red Dead Online next month. So just so many things.
A lot of stuff. Yeah, Red Dead kind of reminds me of Breath of the Wild. I didn't play the first Red Dead, so this is kind of like my first foray into it. But I get that same feeling, like just going around doing different things, just whatever you make of the game. Plus, you can do the main story if you want. So it's an awesome time.
If you want.
Yeah, if you want. Or you can just go, kill some deers all day if you want. So.
Yeah, whatever floats your boat. That's something I like about the game. I'm glad you're liking it too. I'm glad it's getting a good reception, because it's definitely a very enjoyable game for me.
Oh yeah, definitely. So let's hop right into it. This is MashStars again. Tell us a little bit about yourself. So, for those who don't know who you are, your past, everything before streaming, whatever you want to get into.
All right. Well, let's see. I'm MashStars. I grew up in Palo Alto, California. Used to play a lot of games growing up. It was kind of my thing. My dad worked for IBM, so we had like all of the newest computers and consoles and everything. So I played a ton of different games. It was just kind of how I dealt with the situation where I was in growing up, was with video games, and they were really helpful. And then I ended up going to college because I was a pre-med. And first year of college and freshman, I was playing a lot of World of Warcraft, and I actually ended up leading as a GM a guild group that killed Illidan in top 50 in the world. So that was really fun. And then after that, around like my third year of college, then I moved over to League of Legends, and I tried going pro, but I never had the reaction time to be able to do it. So I ended up just doing coaching and managing, and I was doing my own thing. And then this Canadian investor found me, and we ended up making our own company for esports management for League of Legends. Played with a lot of now pro and previous professional players in League of Legends. It was a lot of fun. But then I ended up just kind of stopping on that around, I think it was season 4, when my dad got diagnosed with cancer. So I left that, and then didn't end up becoming a doctor, and got diagnosed with PTSD, so I took some time off from just doing things to try and figure that out. And then now we're here.
Wow. I didn't know that about the esports. That's pretty fascinating. So you said you did that for a while, and it just didn't pan out the way you wanted it to?
Well, we had a couple attempts in trying to get into LCS with a couple of our teams, but while I was pretty much the head of everything, it didn't work out. I think after I left and gave everything over to the Canadian investor, he found another manager, and they ended up getting 1 or 2 teams in LCS. I'm not entirely sure because I wasn't a part of it anymore. but it wasn't panning out to where there was some sort of monetary gain in the long run of continuing to do it for me, because we didn't get a team in LCS, and at the time we really needed to get one because they were giving out I think the first time they get the amateur teams they could get in without doing all the other things you had to do with the tournaments. It was 180,000 I think they were giving to each individual team, which of course you supplemented by having streamers and doing things like that, but we never got from semi-pro up to pro with any of our players while I was there, so it's never panned out for me. It was a lot of fun though. I played with a lot of people that ended up becoming professional players or almost got there, and I've seen their names in LCS whenever I go and check out like the LCS tournaments or just like the weekly things whenever I have time. But it was definitely an interesting, fun experience for me with a lot of learning going on with that. Took a lot of work.
Gotcha. Awesome. Let's back up just a little bit here. So going back to your childhood and, you know, dealing with gaming, you mentioned your father a little bit there and some of, you know, your first experiences, some of your first experiences with gaming. So what were some of the games you played growing up? What were some of your favorite games of all time, and maybe some of your favorite moments dealing with gaming?
Well, see, like as far as the first games I've ever played, I had an Atari and like an NES. So the first games I ever played were like Indy 500, Pong,
The classics.
there was the Super Mario / Duck Hunt on the NES.
Oh,
We
yeah.
had that, and I played a lot of that. I hate that dog.
Did you know that was a two-player game?
No, but I had two brothers and we should have figured that out. Probably would have had a lot less fighting.
Yeah, the
if
second
we
player
knew
can
that.
control the dog. I mean, the second player can control the ducks.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
that's probably why we never did that, because we probably would have gotten into fights. You're making the ducks go too fast. Stop it. Too hard now.
Awesome.
I can see why we never figured that out. But see, first games like is the favorite games growing up. That really got me into gaming more than just like using it as something to pass the time was probably Final Fantasy 2 and Shining Force 2
Okay.
on SNES and Sega Genesis. When I first like really found my love for games, it was through like RPGs and JRPGs on SNES, and a few here and there on Sega Genesis.
Gotcha. Awesome.
Favorite moments? I'd say it probably took a little while for me to get some of the favorite moments, but I used to have a lot of friends come over and we would do like Halo tournaments and just like hook up all of our Xboxes in my living room, and that was really fun. So those were some of like the most fun moments that I can remember with gaming, was just socializing with it.
Gotcha. Okay, so fast forward a little bit. You know you're older. YouTube is on the rise. I'm pretty sure you watched a lot of YouTubers. Back in the day, you probably still do, of course. But before you got into streaming, content creation, who were some of the content creators that you watched?
Well, before I got into the streaming side on YouTube, at first I started my channel with a friend, and we were doing VODs because that's what he was interested in. So I tried to look into more VODs that I enjoyed and content creators that way. So I used to watch a lot of PewDiePie and Bubble Cop and CNanners, people like that. And then at the time we were doing a lot of Minecraft because I was an admin for a Minecraft server. So I also watched some people like Sky Does Minecraft and Sunday, and I think Mr. Craner was another one. I don't watch too much of the Minecraft gameplays anymore, but I used to watch a lot of those.
I hope not.
Well, now that I'm not playing it, it's not really good research.
Right.
And then other than like VOD content creators, before I started streaming, I actually found a couple streamers, because back in the day on YouTube, there used to be a live page where it just had like a list of the top 100 streamers with views. And that's actually how I ended up finding you. And I watched a lot of you, and Quizzle was pretty much, you two were the only streamers I really spent time watching before I started streaming.
Right. Awesome. Yeah. The old days back on YouTube, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
back when it was just a list.
Yeah, just a list.
No thumbnails.
Out of those content creators, do you think any of them kind of inspired you for the kind of content that you produce?
I think you did.
Oh, well, thank you.
I mean, I really enjoyed your positive personality and how you were just calm and stress-free, and that's just what I needed. So I just since I like that so much, that's kind of where I started forming my own personality, was off of that. So from watching you, and I even started with Dead by Daylight because of you. I would definitely, I would say you were a big influence on there for me as the personality of who I am right now, and just getting started with streaming in general rather than trying VODs again.
Right. Thank you. Oh, I'm blushing right now. If you can't
see. Well, I can't right now, but I'll watch that VOD a little later, and we can enjoy that.
So speaking of VOD, you know, there's tons of different kinds of content creation. People get into streaming, VOD, you know, IRL stuff. So what about streaming kind of entice you over doing the more traditional kind of VOD content?
Well, I started with VOD content with a friend, and then when he ended up leaving, it was very hard for me to push myself to continue to make more VOD content. It felt exhausting just trying to set up the videos just to edit them. And because of my League of Legends experience, all of these semi-pros, people that are trying to be professional in League of Legends, all of them streamed, but they were all on Twitch at the time. So for me, like, streaming was in like my book of experience. It was something that I felt comfortable with. It's something that I felt like I could jump into without being stressed out about this perfectionist thing with VODs and spending like 20 to 50 hours editing like a 10-minute video. So since I was used to it, I decided that, hey, maybe since it's a little easier barrier of entry for me because of my past experiences, why don't I just try streaming? And it worked out great.
Awesome. So you started streaming. What were some of your, first of all, what was your first stream like, if you remember? What did you do? What were you playing? How did it go?
I was playing Dead by Daylight. Okay. I told all of the people on my Minecraft server that I was going to do it. So there was just a bunch of Minecraft kids in my chat egging me on. And I was like taking markers and stuff, but I don't really remember why, but I was like writing on my forehead and like my face, and I was just writing on my face, talking crap about the owner of the Minecraft server. And then I got into a game with you, totally unexpectedly.
I remember that video you made.
Yeah, it was definitely an enjoyable experience. And then when I got in the game with you, because I was new to streaming, and I thought that spamming my channel in the chats of video games would work.
I think I remember that too.
Yeah, some of your viewers caught on, and they came over to my channel and were like, "Oh, hey, you play with King. Would you ever want to play with King?" And I was like, "That would be a dream. Yes, please. I've been watching him for like the past 3 months. Just doing nothing."
Wow.
And it was a good first stream. Really enjoyable.
Oh, that sounds like a successful first stream. If there ever was a successful first stream, then that might be it.
Well, I think you got me up to I was like around 25 viewers, because a lot of your viewers actually came over. So for a first stream, I think that was phenomenal.
Nice. Any other like early embarrassing, funny moments that, you know, when you first started streaming that you can think of?
I mean, I'd fumble over my words a lot. I swore a lot at first when I started streaming, and in the end I decided that wasn't a bad idea, but that caused some interesting situations.
Definitely dealing with Minecraft kids, probably. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they did not like it. But I can't really think of anything too embarrassing. I mean, like, there's me failing at gameplay, but I'm so used to that by now. It doesn't really embarrass me. Just like, yeah, I'm bad. Get over it, guys. It's fine.
Wow. Okay. So how would you describe yourself as a streamer? What kind of, if you could just give a brief summary to anyone that asks you, what kind of streamer are you?
I'd say I'm a personality streamer. I try to focus on staying positive, just having fun, being a good time where we all can just get together and laugh. I have decent gameplay, but I'm not MLG by any means. I think it's more important for me to be interacting with my chat, interacting with my community, making sure that everybody's having a good day, and that's what I try to focus on.
Awesome. So you were streaming for a while, you know, things were going okay. What would you say was the turning point for your channel? When was it that you said, okay, this is something that I actually can do?
I mean, that's a hard question, because I feel like there's been a couple turning points. I think when I was doing VODs on my own, it was just like, it was such a hard grind. And then when I streamed and just happened upon in a game with you, that was a turning point in itself, to where I had more people concurrently at one time on my channel than I had ever had. And I was doing Dead by Daylight for I think a good 4 months before I needed to take a break. And by the end of that, I got up to like 40 viewers. And then I'd say, honestly, like the real turning point would be after I had made friends with so many different content creators and felt like I had the self-esteem to come back and start streaming again. Came back with PUBG when a couple of the other streamers were over in Gamescom in Germany, and ended up pulling about 300, 400 viewers at a time. That was really where it became kind of like a, I can do this full time. I can support myself with this, because before then, when I was doing Dead by Daylight, I maybe over 4 months got like $30 total in donations.
Oh, wow.
And I got probably 4 or 5 times that the first stream back with PUBG.
Awesome. So definitely, so just main point there is you came back, you made friends, you networked, you got involved in communities, and those communities supported you like you were supporting them pretty much. Awesome. That's a good key point there. But everything wasn't always rosy and cheery, correct? So what have been some of the struggles you had with streaming, and how have you overcame them? How did you overcome them?
I'd say I'm fairly lucky when it comes to streaming, as far as like getting noticed and recommended. I don't think I've had as many problems as a lot of my friends have with that. For me, a lot of the struggles that I've had have been more personal, with my personal life, things that have been going on. And I ended up dealing with that. I started seeing a therapist. It really helped out, let me deal with my self-esteem issues and anxiety issues, so that I could push myself to stream some more, stay in a happier mood, be able to stream longer. And I think that really being able to find some tool sets through finding the therapist has really helped me with the biggest issues that I've had getting started with streaming and doing well.
Awesome. Well, if you didn't already know, Mash, you're a very awesome individual. So I hope you keep it up.
Oh, you're awesome,
and continue growing. All right. So here's something that can help out, some of the viewers watching. If you could give one piece of advice to anyone that's trying to stream up and coming, or maybe they're struggling with, their content creation, what would that be?
I think that there's a lot of things out there that people can tell you about getting better. But I think just trying to stay positive and focus and pushing yourself forward is the most important thing in doing what you want to do. But as far as what's helped me, what really kind of set me apart from other people, I think when I look back and try to be analytical about how I did well, I would say networking by far is why my channel has done so well. Although I was just lonely and trying to find some time to play with other people that I had become friends with, I think it ended up really blowing up my channel by playing with you in Dead by Daylight, playing with some other streamers in different games like PUBG and stuff like that. I think networking really was the most time efficient way for me to grow my channel, even though that's not what my goal was. It was just to have a good time with friends, and it ended up working out for a win-win situation.
Yeah, that's something that I've always told people too, is just try to make friends, network, join communities. Don't go into it just thinking what you could get from them, but help them out. And if they notice that you're doing things, they may reciprocate it. They may show you some love, raid your channel. It kind of just goes both ways, and it's all about networking and sharing the love. That's how a lot of people end up growing. So awesome. Good piece of advice there. So Mash, this is your chance to kind of just let people know anything you want them to know about you. Where can they find you? Do you have anything interesting going on? Any new plans? Just free for all. What do you want people to know?
Well, you can find me on YouTube at MashStars. I'm also over on Twitch and Mixer as well. I restream to all the platforms. If you're not big on the whole YouTube streaming, but if you want to, I'm over there. As far as things coming up, hopefully I'm going to start getting some VODs coming out, maybe with some Red Dead tips and tricks type of VODs. That's what I really want to try to push myself to get started with now that I'm coming back. because I think that the strongest thing with YouTube is the VODs and the algorithm and how it pushes them. So
Right.
hopefully I can get that started. Other than that, Red Dead Online, I can't wait. But as far as anything I want to share, I think the only thing I really could share is what I usually say at the end of every one of my streams. It's you are special, you are worth it, and I love you. And other than that, that's all I got to say.
Awesome. Well, thank you Mash, for being our first streaming spotlight on the channel. I really do appreciate your time, and hopefully, you know, the people watching this got something out of the nuggets that you shared with us. So thank you again.
Hope so too. Thanks for inviting me, King. I love you, King. Love you.
All right, thank you. Take care, man.
Adios.
Well, there you have it, folks. Hopefully you enjoyed the interview, and make sure you check the links in the description if you want to know more about Mash and where he streams and also his social media. Make sure you also like and subscribe if you want to stay up to date with the channel, so when we do more content like this, you'll be aware. And also, if you want to know more about me, my information is down there as well. But again, guys, thank you so much for watching the video, and I will see you next time. Take care.